ABC 15 going one-on-one with the man in charge of the U.S. Department of Veterans Services.
Of course, the department has been in the spotlight for years now for failing the men and women who have served our country so honorably. And VA Secretary Robert Wilkie was in the Valley, spent a few days in Arizona visiting local hospitals last week.
In an exclusive interview with ABC 15's Sonu Wasu, he talked to us about how far the VA has come since the wait time scandal of 2014 and what you can expect to see in the future.
From failing to most improved, Secretary Robert Wilkie tells me veterans are voting with their feet by choosing the VA as their hospital of choice. In Phoenix, a record set with 1.2 million appointments made at the VA hospitals and clinics, from 52% to a 90% satisfaction rating. The numbers validated by the Veterans of Foreign Wars Group, or VFW. Secretary of Veterans Affairs Robert Wilkie credits this turnaround to his agency's efforts to try to put heart behind their mission.
I'll just quote my old boss, General Mattis. I was born in khaki diapers. This is my world. I'm the son of a soldier, grandson of a sailor, great-grandson of a combat soldier.
Secretary Wilkie says it's been a priority to bring on board those who can speak the language of a veteran.
I wanted to change the organization from one that existed with Washington, D.C. bureaucrats issuing directives from a 10th floor office to one that was from the ground up.
But change takes time. Over the last 3 years, ABC 15 is still hearing from veterans who feel the VA has not responded to their needs for medical care. This Vietnam War veteran reached out to ABC 15 in January, saying he was suicidal and just could not get an appointment at the VA.
In a way, I'm lucky because I have some resources to speak with someone like you. But I think of the veterans that aren't quite in that position. And what happens to them?
Last July, ABC 15 spoke to this Purple Heart recipient, injured in Iraq, suffering from PTSD. He was also fed up with the VA, saying every time he showed up to see a psychologist, he found himself in front of a new face.
It was one of those things that I felt it was what it is, because I was told they had a shortage of doctors.
We expressed his concerns to Secretary Wilkie.
I will say, again, mental health is America's problem. We don't have enough providers.
Wilkie says the agency has made big changes to recruit and retain doctors and nurses. Creating higher salaries and a better work environment have been a priority.
In the last 6 weeks, we've hired 18,000 people.
Wilkie says he knows the VA is still far from perfect.
Now, in a system as large as ours, where we have 9.5 million people, will there be a hiccup? Absolutely.
Secretary Wilkie says one of his biggest accomplishments is creating an electronic health record database for every veteran in the system. He says it will cut out a lot of confusion and paperwork for veterans when they show up for an appointment. In Phoenix, Sonu Wasu, ABC 15, Arizona.